3 years ago, we talked to Nick, the owner of Shrimpy Business, a guy who quit his chemical engineering job to sell shrimp. This is going to be the first of 2 videos with Nick, where we catch up to see where he is now as the co-owner of Shrimpy Business with his wife. She's a little shy, she didn't want to be on camera, but she's really awesome. And we're going to see what Shrimpy Business is now, how things have changed, and check out an entirely new dedicated shrimp facility. This first part is going to be an interview with Nick to get kind of an update, what they've been doing, give you a little refresher course, and then from there, the second video next week will be a tour of the new Shrimpy Business. So first, introduce yourself, because people haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, I know. It's been a while. How long has it been? Like 3 years or something?
I think we're close to 3 years, yeah.
I know. Well, my name is Nick. I'm the owner, co-owner with my wife Gwen of shrimpybusiness.com. We specialize in freshwater shrimp. We also do nano fish, aquatic plants. Anything for your nano aquarium needs. That's where you can find us. We've been doing this for about 5 years or so now. So we, start off as my passion, my hobby. We've always been into fish as a kid. I kind of just took off from there. We're 5 years in, and we're excited. I mean, we are happy where we're at, and we're enjoying the process. And it's kind of a short intro.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So let's give everybody kind of like the fast recap.
Yeah.
So you've been doing this for a little bit of time, but like, how did you get to a dedicated facility selling shrimp and fish?
Yeah. So now Bentley is finally, we made in person in our new facility. We moved in about, how long has it been now? 3-4 months or so? 3-4 months or so? Yeah. So, we started off, I started off just messing around with my shrimp tank 5 years or so, 6 years ago, or 5 or 6 years ago. And I started off just as a passion, as a hobby, and kind of got so engrossed just trying to, get my cherry shrimp to breed, and finally got them breeding. And then I had too many of them, and I started trying to sell them on eBay. Yeah, I guess that's how most people start, right? And then I realized that, hey, there's a market for this, and we started from there, 1 tank, 2 tanks, and then I started taking over our living room. We went from, we at one point we had just those indoor ponds in our living room, a carpeted floor. We had that.
The good old yellow.
Good old yellow toes from Home Depot. We had that. Just trying to see whether, just try to get more space. And then we finally moved into a place with a garage. So we had a little 1-bedroom with a little attached garage. So we set up our tanks over there. Not really ideal because we had to during water changes with the carry pails up and down the stairs, which I don't miss those days, and Gwen don't miss those days. So we went from there to we found a 3-car garage attached to our home. So we bought a place with a 3-car garage. So we operated from there for 3 years or so. So that's where our shrimp was held, and we bred them, and we started expanding fish and plants. And soon we realized, hey, we need more space, like most businesses. And we finally put the trigger on this place. So we found this place which we took a couple of years to actually find an ideal place. So we're really happy we found this spot. We kind of finally, after 5 years or so, found a dedicated facility to call Shrimpy Business HQ, and not mix, not be living in Shrimpy Business HQ. So it's a long time coming, a long time process, but we're really excited, really happy to finally find a place to call home. Well, call Shrimpy Business home, we're pretty stoked. It's a lot of work to set up the place, to kind of a lot of trial and error, a lot of learning, a lot of talking to smarter people than ourselves to figure out what's best. We're at a spot where we're pretty happy where we're at, but it's always a learning process. So we're excited to see what's next for us.
So at what point, because before you did this as your sole business, I mean, folks that have watched the first interview we did, you were a chemical engineer.
Yeah, so I was chemical engineer for a while for one of the big oil and gas companies. And yeah, I mean, I love engineering. I've always enjoyed being an engineer. I think it got a point where I was kind of burnt out and didn't enjoy what I was doing. And then I was looking at the shrimp tank one day, and Gwen was like, why don't we try selling them online? Because I used to sell betas as a kid. That was my first real love. I was really into reading betas, and I did sell them online for a little bit during college. And yeah, just started from there, and kind of the rest is history, I guess.
So how long ago was it when you kind of flipped that switch into, I'm doing this business full time. This is my career now.
I think I was doing part time for not very long, actually, a year and a half, maybe 2 years.
Okay.
A year and a half part time, and then I think I switched to full time because twofold. I guess it was earning enough income where we could survive, and also I was kind of burnt out at my job. I wasn't really happy, so that pushed me to I guess with that switch, to figure out, okay, how do I go from a chemical engineer to grow this e-commerce business, so that we can have a decent living, and also provide hobbyists all over the states with healthy animals, and how do we do it ethically, and how do we do it the right way, while also earning a living. I think that's always the balance that each business has to have, especially in our industry.
Yeah.
To have the best practice possible to which sustainability is a big thing for us, and being an ethical business is a huge thing for us, because we want to make sure we do business the right way and make sure our customers are happy as much as possible, and also also be a sustainable business so that we can be here and survive, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You went from fish were taking over the house, shrimp mostly, taking over the house.
Yeah, pretty much.
To now you're at a dedicated facility, and we'll be doing a tour shortly. But talk me through the basics.
Yeah.
How big is the facility? What was it before? Because I found that fascinating. We were talking earlier.
Yeah.
And what does it look like in the future? Are we looking at like, this is the permanent home? Is this a temporary home, etc.?
Yeah, great question. So, I guess taking back to the first rendition of Shrimpy Business, I guess the living room doesn't really count. I guess, sure, the living room kind of counts. I think the living room was like, I guess, 400 square foot of space, maybe not even 300 square foot, maybe. And then we moved into our garage, the one-car garage, which I guess maybe the same amount of space, it's just different location, around 300 square foot.
Yeah.
And then our 3-car garage, we moved into right before this place was like, I would guess 500 square feet, roughly 550 maybe. This place we got it's for warehouse size. It's not big by any means, but it's around 4,500 square foot.
So about 10x.
10x, yeah. But you gotta remember, like at our old house, it was not just the warehouse that was taking out shrimp business stuff. We had one more bedroom upstairs. There was our dry goods room that we will actually pack and store our dry goods at. So I guess in total with that room, maybe like 700 square foot maybe in total.
Yeah. So
we was taking over the house again. And we were storing our styrofoam outside in our backyard. So I guess if you count that space, it's around 1,000 square foot in total.
But so still a significant increase moving here.
Right. So
and you have a dedicated office, which is where we are currently.
Dedicated office, which is nice.
Main facility,
yeah. So the big thing for us is separate work and home. So now we have a place where we can put our working hats on, and then we go home. We have our spouse, husband and wife hat on.
Yeah.
So that was a big thing for us, because it was kind of taking over the house, so it's hard to segregate. Business partners and husband and wife. So we're much happier with this arrangement.
Yeah. And I guess my next question would be, lots of us hobbyists.
Yeah.
I may be the rare exception where I don't aspire to own a fish business ever.
Yeah.
But many people aspire to own a fish business.
Mm-hmm.
Between multiple places that you operate a business versus pure hobby, what's kind of the biggest lesson you've learned that moved you from out of your garage into a dedicated facility?
Wow, there's so many. Learn as in like business wise or hobby wise or like.
Let's do one of both.
Okay. So, business wise, it's very easy. A lot of people it's actually pretty easy to get a loan as a business and to get a place like this. We could do this a lot earlier, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But we decided not to because we wanted to. Well, we were pretty conservative and wanted to play it safe to make sure that this business we're building it the right way and it's gonna last. So after once we reached that threshold that we had in mind and we stayed there, we decided, okay, we're in a safe spot. We could move, and we set aside cash to actually do it. Cash, so that way our risk tolerance is low.
Yeah.
So that way, if knock on wood, anything happens, we still can operate a business and we still can survive, and not be worried. Oh my God, I took an X amount of loan and I have to pay that loan and I can't do that anymore, and then we'll be on, the business won't survive. So as a business, I've always taken a conservative lens and not be too aggressive and also it's just hard to find that balance. People do it different ways. People do it aggressively and find success too. We just chose to do it more conservatively. And it seems to work out for us so far. So that's what I've always learned from a business standpoint, one of the lessons. From a hobby standpoint, there's so many. Where do we start? Okay, so for shrimp, New York shrimp specifically, I guess I go by species and categories. I guess that's what most people want to hear, and also because it's just too difficult to put just one answer. For New York shrimp, stability and hardness is so important, and keeping them stable. And water changes are great. Not too big water changes, small water changes over time. I'd say 5 to 10% a week. That's kind of what we do if we don't overfeed. So for the New York shrimp, that's kind of what we go by. Just stability, I can't say it right. Keep everything stable. For Caridina shrimp, same thing with Neos. Keep everything stable, but keep everything cool. Feed them regularly for breeding, but small amounts. So we feed them our food, roughly twice a day, sometimes once a day. But we try to feed twice a day to encourage breeding, but also water changes once a week, 25%-ish, to keep the TDS as stable as possible.
Yeah.
Just to encourage breeding. For fish, our water here is really soft. Crushed coral is your friend. Like most experienced hobbyists in the area would tell you, crushed coral is your friend. Keep the cage. Some cage is great. We have 0 cage here.
Yeah.
Absolutely 0. So that is not good, especially when you bring in new fish. Especially when you overfeed one day or there's deaths in your tanks. Man, that can really crash a pH. So crushed coral is our friend, and we always keep crushed coral in our tanks, in our sumps, and we change them every 4 to 6 months or so, and we test the pH. I have a routine to test the pH every week just to keep track of them, and yeah, I guess that sums up. So that's the learning. I know it's a pretty long answer, but
yeah. So you touched on this a little bit with Caridina, in that temperature is really important.
Yeah.
And only because I find this really fascinating. Other people might not.
Yeah.
This building.
Yeah.
You told me it used to be a brewery.
Yeah.
So what kind of problems, and because obviously you learned this lesson through dealing with some things.
Yeah.
What are some of the problems you've dealt with, and what have been your solutions so far?
In this current facility?
Yeah.
Oh, well, ideally, in an ideal world, I'll keep Caridinas in a dedicated air-conditioned room.
Okay.
Ideally. We actually considered converting this office to a Caridina room and moving our office to the warehouse. We actually considered that because in that case, we just need to cool this room.
Right.
So it's really difficult to have a room to keep three different species, three different types of animals. So I guess Neocaridina fish and Caridina in the same room where they all have different kind of temperature tolerances. So where we landed at is keeping the room not cooling the whole warehouse. So this is during the summer, not having AC while only keeping the Caridinas on the bottom two rows and having evaporative cooling for the summer. So that's kind of where we landed at. And the mules can actually tolerate pretty high temperatures. So our warehouse goes up to 80 degrees in the summer. That's the highest we've ever gone, which is actually not too bad if you think about it.
Yeah.
But the Caridinas don't do so well. But thankfully, 80 degrees ambient is as high as you can get. In the morning, it gets around 72 degrees. So we have like 8 degrees of increase during the day, roughly. So the Caridina tanks, the highest they can get is roughly 74 degrees, which is right where you kind of, I guess, you don't want to go above 75 for sure. They don't do well at all. Okay. Around 74, 75 degrees for Caridinas, they do okay. Not ideal, but they do okay. Ideally for breeding, you want to keep them around 70 degrees-ish.
Okay.
Yeah. So we only experienced that over here in Washington for about, I'd say a month or two, maybe not even. So we're fortunate in that. Most of the year, I mean, the temperature ranges are pretty favorable. So we keep the whole warehouse around 70 degrees, and then we heat our fish tanks.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's kind of where we landed to find a good sweet spot.
Yeah. So we will get this question. I guarantee you.
Okay.
Because locals will ask.
Uh-huh.
Are you an open storefront, or do you do by appointment visits?
Uh-huh.
Anything in that order?
Yeah, we thought about it. We thought it'd be hard many times to actually open it to local customers, but I think right now we're kind of closed out to the public. We'll consider the local pickups in the future for sure. Yeah. But because we are such a new facility, we're trying to figure things out still in this new spot. We decided to just keep it closed for now, close to the public for now, so an online only store. But in the future, we will definitely consider having local pickups because I know being a local guy, local person, they would love to pick up, shrimp locally to save on shipping costs, which we definitely want to offer that. But we'll definitely consider that in the future. But for now, it's close to the public.
Yeah. And I imagine part of that is just like you mentioned, it's just you and your wife. So you're kind of a two-person show.
Yeah, we're kind of a two-person show right now. We'll definitely want to. We're hiring in the area, so if you have fish knowledge and you wanna work for a growing business, great, hit us up. We'll definitely.
Do you need a job?
Do you need a job? Come work for us. No, I mean, but we are looking for folks with fish or shrimp knowledge and we'll definitely we're growing that aspect to have a fulfillment team and also take some time off my shoulders and our shoulders to do other things because being a two-man show running a business, I mean, we're not a big business by any means, but we're pretty busy. But we're definitely hiring. We definitely want to hire in the future in the spot.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Well, let's walk into the fun part because I'm sure everybody's like, okay, we're done with the office. Let's start looking at shrimp.
Sure.
And let's take a walk around and talk about your new facility and what's going on.
Okay. Sounds good.
Sweet. Well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed that first part. Like I said, we're going to have 2 videos, so stay tuned next week. We're going to have a full tour of the new Shrimpy Business as it stands right now, which is pretty amazing, right? This building used to be a brewery making beer, and now it is the home of Shrimpy Business where they have a pretty awesome system that I'm going to show you parts of. There's only so much that we're going to show because, of course, there's some kind of proprietary stuff that they're doing as far as their processes are concerned. There's lots of really cool things going on. They'll kind of explain what they're doing. We'll show kind of the way that they treat dealing with shrimp and shrimp orders, which is a bit different than I think most places, which I think you're really going to enjoy. So what I'd love to hear from you guys is down in the comments below. Is there something you learned? Is there something interesting? Maybe it's all about mochi. You let me know, all right? If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and absolutely stay tuned next week to watch the tour of the facility because I think it's a really, really wonderful and they're just getting started. As always, my friends, thank you so much for watching and stay awesome.